It's not over yet, Snake! So we're going to look at a couple of the extra things in Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty High Definition Edition of the Master Collection. For one, hey look, the cutscene. The cutscene? The title screen has been replaced with Raiden. That's a little disrespectful. In addition to that, like I mentioned, we've got Snake Tales and VR missions. We're not going to look too much at these now, but we'll take a quick peek at VR missions, particularly to look at two assets that are going to be important to the next game, Twin Snakes. We're going to load our up, up, down, down, left, right, BA file, because if you name yourself that, which is, of course, the Konami code, you can unlock all of the missions from the get-go. Very cool. There's a couple things to look at here. One of which is we get Ninja Raiden. And we're just going to pick the first mission here. And Ninja Raiden is significant for two reasons. As the game does its best to load. One of those reasons is, as you can see, yeah, look! It's Raiden, but he's cosplaying as the cyborg ninja, Gray Fox. That's pretty cool. In this mode, you don't get much aside from the sword, so you can actually wield it in other areas of the big shell. And it's pretty neat. I wish you could just get this for the main game, but alas, you cannot, because the way the sword works is it's programmed per room. Let's just... Oh. No, you don't. Let's just stab him. But yeah, this is important because it's sort of foreshadowing for one of Raiden's future appearances. Kind of explains what happens to him. And also, this asset, we'll be seeing this in Twin Snakes. Many of the assets for Twin Snakes were actually created for Metal Gear Solid 2, including several vehicles and characters and even locations in some instances. The other thing to show off is... I mean, you already read it. It's MGS1 Snake. I believe off the top of my head, there is a model of Metal Gear Rex, the Hind D, and the M1 tank, and maybe the heliport that were created in the MGS2 art style, and just unused in the game. Genome Soldiers as well, and yeah, MGS1 Snake. You can see he's got the beard and the mullet, so he's not really MGS1 era accurate, but he's MGS2 Snake, cosplaying as MGS1 Snake. This model, as well as the Raiden Gray Fox model, you'll see modified versions of those when we get to Twin Snakes. But there's one more thing I want to look at. Just one more little thing, because I think it's important, because I've made a decision for something that... No, we don't want to save. We just want to exit. I made a decision for one of the future games we're going to be playing, and when. But I think it's kind of important now to take a peek, for me and for the future of these playthroughs and everything else. It's very important that we go to the plant real quick on very easy and just speed run. Just very quickly speed run to the Strut E parcel room. Now, why would he be doing such a thing? Why would he do this? Well, that is because if you remember that I mentioned, or maybe you mentioned it, maybe you know what I'm about to do because you know me very well, you know my interests, and you know just the sort of things I'm into.
The texture isn't far.
I mentioned that there's a particular dog tag in the Strut E parcel room on Very Easy that we need to go take a look at. By the way, on Very Easy, we just get the M9 right away. So that's nice. That's going to help us get through things very easily. In addition to that, we will be just sort of, oh, that was some ammo. Let me grab that. We'll be skipping cutscenes. So just keep an eye on how quickly we're going to get to the Strutsea Dining Hall. Just through skipping cutscenes. If you remember, it took like maybe like a half hour last time. Check it out. Doesn't mean anything, but I can like tranquilize these guys. They're still going to wake up, but I think it's funny. Yep. We get the node. Yep. That's fine. That's all good. Whoop. That's good. Download. It's not a real download. It's just a funny little bar it does. Yeah, that's okay. Return to previous screen. Yeah, they're gonna get up. Good work, Raiden. They talk for a long time. Yep, she tells us the save frequency. We see something about April 30th. We go back into the codec to tell us that they're gonna wake up. But they're not gonna wake up. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm just kidding about kidding. He did wake up. And he woke up his buddy. They're really, really blind on very easy. It's kind of humorous. There we go. I hate how the goggles make it, like, impossible to see. Forklift-chan here! We love you, Forklift-chan. Anyway, let's go up. Up to Strut A. Moving right along. Unfortunately, you do have to wait for the elevator to come down. I always think that's a little silly.
Colonel.
Just because it just, you know, wastes a little bit of time. Here's the big shell, still beautiful.
First, get to a node.
Get to a node. We're not going to do that, though. We don't actually need to get to the node because, as you see, on Very Easy, you get your radar data immediately. Colonel's going to call us, tell us to crawl under there. Now he's going to call us again and tell us to go to the AB connecting bridge. We know about the AB connecting bridge. We've connected all the ABs. We're going to strut a pump on over there. And we're going to eavesdrop on these idiots. I'll leave the first floor to you. I see the node, but it's heavily guarded by one man, Colonel. One man. This game is so silly when you're just running through. You know, we're going to get your dog tag anyway. Just for the hell of it. Why not? No reason not to. Samuel. Yeah, hide his body. We're not going to hide his body. We're strutting a pump on down the bridge. Local Squid plays MGS2? Yes, because we are getting a very particular Easter egg in the Strutty parcel room. But we got to run through a portion of the game first, just to get there. But I think it's interesting to do this because it does show, like I said, the hilarious pacing of this game. Are you going to, like, move, brother? Brother? Well, how about you just get moved to sleep? Alright, now we're in Strut B. Want to see how silly Strut B is when you skip the cutscene? Remember how we were here for like half an hour in this strut alone? Alright. Take a look. Yeah, remember all this talking?
What about the president?
Yeah. Don't worry about it. We're done here. There's J.G. Pliskin. He's going to tell us about wizards with knives. He's going to give us a SOCOM Special Operations Command pistol. And look, there's the SOCOM suppressor. Game's going to tutorialize us on something we already know how to do. SOCOM supper. It just gives it to you right here. Yep. So we got that. Now we get called again. Do not save. Yes, we know it's April 30th. It's when we met. But more importantly, it's when George Washington became the president. Although Solidus says it happened 200 years ago. It was closer to like 220-something, 230-something. Anyway, there's the guy that says a dud. And now look at this. We're already past the BC connecting bridge. We're going to grab this little item here. You can never go across that way. It's weird. At some point during the design process of the game, they considered adding a hook shot. This is a real thing. There was going to be a hook shot that could allow you to cross gaps and grab items. That never ended up happening. And look, we're already at Stillman, and he's going to tell us look how quickly you could do this. By the way, just since I have to go all the way to Strut E anyway.
There's no need to think of it.
Nope, there isn't any need to think about it. Since we're going to go to Strut E anyway, I'm going to take my time to actually defuse the bombs along the way. Just because I think it's funny. Just because I think it's very, very funny how quickly you can do. Remember, the bomb disposal was a bulk of Shell 1. And I have been recording this video for a little over 11 minutes. And that's including the fact that I took a look at the VR missions and yapped a little bit. But we've been playing this for only like 10 minutes now. And we're already at bomb disposal. Already. And of course, these are where you remember them, and even if they weren't, you get the sensor, so it's very easy to see where it is. When I say there's not a lot of game here, there's not a lot of game here. Oh, you know what we did get, though? We can waste a little time. Hey. We'll send that to Rose later. Unfortunately, when Raiden gets naked, there is no access to the digital camera or a mirror. So you can't send Rose those kind of selfies. CD connecting bridge. We have a compact disc. We're connecting it on a bridge. And look!
It appears.
Oh, what is Snake's codec? .80, right. I remember that. No, shut up. 141.80. Let's see if he cooperates this time. No, he's supposed to... He's supposed to pick up the codec. Oh, right. Hey, we remember this stupid little surveillance camera. Well, luckily, we've got our remote control to turn it off. There's supposed to be a funny little call with him about that. Oops. No, I know. I don't know why.
If you...
It really doesn't want me to call Pliskin. 141.80 is what it's supposed to be.
Right.
There we go.
C4 down. There was one planted.
Okay. He's not going to say
Tell
anything
me
about
a
the
little
box,
more
though.
about dead...
All right. Well. All right. This is not a codec moment. This is the opposite of a codec moment. This is a hurry up and get the bombs moment. So he's gonna report no problems here. Nothing here. Yeah, it's a favorite quote of one Mint Phantom. Hang, drop, catch! Remember the hang, drop, catch. And you remember this. Yep, same place. Coolant. Oh, I guess since that's our second bomb, no one really cares. Alright. Well, just mosey on through. Look at him pumping his strut. He does pump a strut. Oh.
Nothing here.
Yeah, nothing here. So we've got 2 bombs. 2 bombs. DE connecting bridge. Almost there. Almost where we need to be. This is kind of a neat bridge, I've always thought, because it's a little layered. Like, quite literally layered. Yeah, and he's just gonna go down there. Well, we're just gonna... Oh! We hit the sides. Bzz. Oh. Oh. He locked onto the wrong man. Well, that's fine. Hey. That's fine. You kicked me near the door that I want to go to. Strut E parcel room. And for some reason, the alert just goes away, which is good, because we want to get over to this particular guard, which is why I am playing again in the first place. I want to get this guard's dog tag. You might be asking why. Well, there's a reason why.
Freeze.
Do you remember who this is? Do you remember? It's important. This is actually the first appearance of Nana Mizuki in the Metal Gear series. Yeah, that's it. That's why we did this. For some reason on Very Easy, that guard's dog tag says Nana Mizuki. But just to prove a point, I'm going to get the rest of the bombs because it's very easy. Like, literally, the difficulty is very easy. But also, I just want to show how quickly you can play this game, how much time is taken up by cutscenes. Yeah, that is indeed Nana Mizuki. That is not a coincidence. That is not, that is just real. That is 100% referencing the Nana Mizuki. If you check the dog tags on the menu, which I will do after I defuse these bombs here, you'll see her birthday and I believe even blood type are accurate. And allegedly, what happened is there was a contest in Japan after the initial release of Metal Gear Solid 2 for having your name show up as dog tags for Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance. And no one's really sure if she wrote it in or if it was included specifically because the developers were fans or if a bunch of fans wrote it in. But yeah, it's funny because it's actually kind of foreshadowing. And when the Master Collection came out, I was trying to get all the dog tags on every difficulty because that's how you, spoilers, that's how you unlock the stealth camo and the infinite ammo bandana and wig and such. Hey, you remember this. Stealth equipped claymore mines invisible to the naked eye. But yeah, I did a double take when I got that dog tag. I tend to play this when this game gets re-released. I tend to play it on. I know I got spotted, by the way. I don't care. I tend to play it on Very Easy first. Look how fast the alerts go away on Very Easy too. That's so funny. I tend to play it on Very Easy first, just because you need to get as many dog tags as possible, because it's a total number rather than per difficulty, which is nice, but also a little tedious. But, you know, it's nice because you can make higher difficulties much easier by doing the lower difficulties first, and as such having access to things like infinite ammo and such. But yeah, I kind of did a double take because I was like, what the hell? Was that always there? Or did they put that in? Did they make new dog tags? Is this a Peace Walker reference? No, that was her actual first appearance in 2002. Just speaking of Nana Mizuki for a second, you might not believe this, but it was actually due to Peace Walker that I became a fan of Nana Mizuki. I knew of her before, but I hadn't really, I wasn't like, I just wasn't exposed to enough of her work until Peace Walker. And then, of course, I became a big Symphogear fan, and we know how history laid out. But yeah, shoutouts to, Metal Gear Solid 2. She was always there, I guess. And look, we're all the way back to the Strata Pump Room. So we've only got the bomb here to deal with, and then the bomb in Strut B, and we will be done with bombs. And we've been playing this for 21 minutes, and I'm not really doing any particular speedrun strategies. I've even like wasted some time, and I took the wrong pipe path there. I am not a Metal Gear Solid speedrunner. It's just sometimes the game's, you know, sequences of events are not particularly well thought out, I feel. But this is all just a long-winded excuse to say shoutouts to Nana Mizuki, shoutouts to Metal Gear for introducing me to Nana Mizuki, and to announce that, so I made a decision last night after watching Mint Phantom. Hey, look, these pipes say Tokugawa on them as well. Watching Mint play Peace Walker, that I think I'm going to slightly amend my project thesis here of playing through all the numbered Metal Gear games before the release of Delta. And I think I am going to play Peace Walker, and I'm going to break the rules even farther. Even farther, because I'm not going to play it when it came out. It came out between MGS4 and Rising. Rising actually came out after Peace Walker. I missed him somehow. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play... So we're going to start Twin Snakes very shortly. Then I'm going to play 3. Then I'm going to play 4. Then I'll play Rising, because I think 4 into Rising is really good. Rising's a very nice palate cleanser, and it finishes up the Solid Snake and Raiden era. And then I'm going to play Peace Walker, since my PlayStation 3 is going to be hooked up anyway. And I think Peace Walker into 5 or V, because Peace Walker started as 5. You know, I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. Is it an excuse for me to just talk about Love Deterrence? And what an absolute banger of a song it is? Absolutely. But I also think thematically it's appropriate. But we'll get there when we get there. We took care of all of the C4 in just under 24 minutes. Even less when you consider that I had to look at some of the VR missions and such beforehand. So let's just make sure we save our game. So we save our Nana Mizuki data. Always save your Nana Mizuki data. Am I planning on playing Portable Ops? Yes, but that will be in the future when I tackle all of the portable games. I was going to hold off on Peace Walker until then and play all the portable games in a row. But I think, given that, like I said, I'm going to need to have my PS3 connected anyway to play through 4 and Rising, I might as well play Peace Walker HD since it's right there. Portable Ops requires a little bit of extra finagling for, you know, pretty obvious reasons. But I will get to Portable Ops in the future, yes. Anyway, let's take a look at our dog tag viewer. Let's load our very easy file. Go to plant. Oop. Very easy. Oh, they removed! Did they remove the birthdays in this? Yes, okay. So this version of the game, they actually removed the birth dates and the blood types. But in the original release, you can indeed see them. I forgot though. I forgot that they removed it from this version. But yeah, I think ending this video on a screen of a weird silhouette of a Gorlukovich soldier and Nana Mizuki's name just right there. I think that's pretty good. So that is truly it for now for Metal Gear Solid 2. I just said nothing. Shoutouts to Nana Mizuki.